Okay, first of all, I thank you all the attendees and media fraternity. I don't have to go further for the formality parts, and now let me jump directly into my topic. This is my topic. I framed it like this: separate administration, a buffer zone perspective. I want to discuss how Manipur has been separated, or how Manipur has been dichotomous in boundary, in creating separation based on geography, ethnicity, or land ownership patterns. So with this, next, I want to have my analysis through this method, historical analysis. Why separation? Actually, separation is not actually what we demand. It's already something which is already in existence since time immemorial. This is the very reason why I use this method for historical analysis. There are different analyses through which I can see, but this is very relevant. So it suits my topic as well. So now let me trace these historical trajectories of separating the people in the state. Next. First, colonial times. When the British came to India and conquered Manipur, the first thing they did was they used anthropologists, right? Anthropologists studied the people, the culture, the traditions, and their knowledge were used further for administration purposes. So the British administration bifurcated the state, the princely state called Kanglei Pak, into two divisions, like hills and valleys. The hills, where we find the Kugis and Nagas. At those point of time, it was dominantly the Kuki people. Now, due to exchange of population because of social and political forces, population has been equalized. Now, valleys, Meiteis in the valley, it's 100%. It's 100% dominated by the Meitei people, Meitei community. This is how the British bifurcated the territories of the so-called Kanglei Pak into two zones, like hills and valleys. Now, come to post-colonial times. Free India, this time followed the British legacy of dividing Manipur into two parliamentary constituencies again. One is outer parliamentary constituency, which is by the tribals, Nagas and Kugis. And the other one is inner parliamentary constituencies. This is very unique form of arrangement. No state in the country has these sort of arrangements, I think, if I'm not mistaken, based on this ethnicity or land ownership. It might be, as per the constitution, it might be divided or based on number of population in a specific territorial areas. But the case of Manipur is unique. It is divided this way, in inner and outer parliamentary constituencies. Now, today's scenario. Let's come to today's scenario. Now, buffer zone. How buffer zone of today was created? Government of India, through its Home Ministry, created these buffer zones. Actually, this turned out to be a prized possession of the Kuki people, or say Kuki Joe people. It's not a demand also. It's the UN Home Minister who came to Manipur last year, 2023. It was he himself who created this so-called buffer zone, which is a line of separation. So what I wanted to stress is the Union Home Ministry, knowingly or unknowingly, has followed a British legacy, or I should say the even pre-British time, the time of immemorial. Then the Manipur has been always bifurcated into two or trifurcated into three or something else like this. So the Home Ministry did this, and this turned out to be a good position for the Kuki people, and it is indicative of the decision that the Union Ministry or the Government of India as a whole disallows the mingling of these two warring communities anymore. No other option. No force can just interfere and then separate them. But the buffer zone is the best form of separating them, whose testimonials have also been witnessed throughout the histories whichever I have mentioned. This is very unique. Like the Central Armed Police Forces, meaning the India's international boundaries, be it Bangladesh, Indo-Bangladesh, Indo-Pakistan, Indo-Myanmar, we have different forces. In that way, in that line, the government has come up with this form of internal adjustment, especially in these conflict zones of Manipur, which is buffer zone, and that buffer zone is manned by the Assam Rifles. Therefore, if the center continues to go ahead with this decision of withdrawing or removing these Assam Rifles, will be constituted as a neo-colonial exercise of the center in cahoots with the state government. Now, why Assam Rifles have to stay? Last week, Biren, the Chief Minister of the state, came and met the Home Minister and the Prime Minister of the country. We heard that they met for like 15 minutes. And on his return, like on 1st or 2nd or 31st of July, or 1st of June, 1st of August, it came out in the open that the Manipur government has decided to withdraw these buffer zones, the buffer zones that I have mentioned, in particular 9th Assam Rifles from Kambai areas of Churjangpur district, and 22nd Assam Rifles from Kampupi district. So it was clear that the surreptitious decision or a meeting among these three leaders is what they have decided to do away with buffer zones, abrogating buffer zones, or removing Assam Rifles. This implicitly or tacitly implies that they wanted to remove these buffer zones. Because Assam Rifles, we have Assam Rifles across the northeastern states and in many regions of the state itself also. Why necessarily here buffer zones Assam Rifles? If Assam Rifles are at all necessary to send to Jammu and Kashmir, why not Assam Rifles of other northeastern states? But if it is Manipur, okay, let it be Manipur Assam Rifles. Then why particularly the Assam Rifles of these Kuki-dominated areas buffer zones? Why not other Assam Rifles? Why necessarily this? This is my biggest question to the trio. Modi ji, Amit Shah ji, and Biren. I would like to ask this. Why particularly the Assam Rifles of these two regions, 9th Assam Rifle and 22nd Assam Rifles? If the meeting they meet up was not about buffer zone, then what regions can be stated to justify their meet up, if not particularly this decision of withdrawing Assam Rifles? it's very clear that the trial leaders will be responsible for this. If they don't take back the decision, there will be a bloodbath across the boundaries or even into the interiors of the lands of the Kuti people. For this, the center should wholly own the responsibility. Now, coming to the consequences, if the decision of withdrawing the Assam Rifles is not taken back, it would mean to let loose the private militia of the chief minister of the state and Biren Singh, such as Arambai Tengols, Meitei Lipuns, and other valley-based insurgent groups, which I call VPIGs. They are pigs only in the valley areas, but if they are not content enough in the valley areas, they will cross the buffer zones. For that, the center has to impose or reimpose AFSPA to contain this private militia of the chief minister of the state. Otherwise, as long as they are not arrested, no peace in the valley, no solution in the Kuti areas. So, if the buffer zones are not intact, this will be something like opening a second curtain or a second episode of Arambai Tengols raping our women, parading them naked, or illegal occupation of tribal lands, among many other infamous decisions or plans, infamous, meticulously designed projects of the Biren Singh and his Kebut, like Arambai Tengols and other really based insurgents like Britpapkia, Vaikia, and many others. Why Assam Rifles has to stay? Because Assam Rifles are a secular force. They are friends of the hill people and they are sentinels of the northeast. Like I have said just before, if they are sentinel of the northeast and friends of the hill people, why need to send them to Jammu and Kashmir to contain terrorism there? This is the biggest question. Yeah, they might be tasked to terrorism or deal with terrorism, but see the situation which is equally worse in the state of Manipur. So other than the Assam Rifles, I don't think any force of CRPF can replace them. If in case they are replaced, they have to be none other than the pure Indian army. Pure Indian army has to replace the Assam Rifles, and at the same time, AFSPA have to be imposed in the Imphal Valley areas. These two things have to be done simultaneously, so that peace or a semblance of peace will be in the Imphal areas, and approximate, like almost or approximate nearing or close solution will be brought about in the Kuti areas. So some demands I would like to put forth is Assam Rifles have to stay, no withdrawal of Assam Rifles, no removal of Assam Rifles, because removing them or doing so them would mean abrogating of buffer zones. The consequences which I have mentioned will be followed. So one condition, as I said, if the need for center's decision of withdrawing Assam Rifles is non-negotiable, then they have to be replaced by a neutral force. There is nothing less than the pure Indian army, as I said. So at the same time, AFSPA has to be imposed or reimposed in the Imphal Valley areas, so that its neighboring Kuki areas or Kukijo areas will be in the peace of political solution. Peace of political solution. So my last request, let me make 3 requests. Mr. Modi ji, You cannot always modify the security apparatus of the country. If so, please, with no ulterior motive. Otherwise, peace and security of the country will be under threat. To Mr. Amit Shah ji, please admit that the buffer zone in questions are your constructs. Don't destroy them. The price will be so heavy. And Mr. CM Biren Singh, please utilize the brain. You are brain. Utilize your brain. So, Mr. CM, utilize the brain. There is in brain. Brain is utilizing the brain of someone. I don't want that. Please, Mr. CM, use the brain that is in brain so that you have a peaceful sleep. So, health to the Assam Rifles. Long live Kugilan. Jai Hind.